This video is sponsored by FreelyGive. If you want to have help with Drupal and AI, get in contact with us, or in AI in general. So in this video, I will showcase how you can get your Drupal CMS assistant, or basically anything, to search for images on your website. So I'm just gonna go ahead here and ask my assistant, can you find images of someone with white beard? So not Santa.jpg and not in the alt text that says Santa Claus, but it's still gonna find this Santa.jpg image then. This is available now as a recipe, and it works. There's two recipes. One recipe if you can't install the vector database, and another one if you can install a vector database. So let's go through it. So the video will be split up into two parts. I will talk a little bit about the recipes and what they actually install on your website, and the second part will just show how you install it and how you can set it up with an assistant, for instance, because it is just in the end installing one agent that is supposed to mainly be a sub-agent for other agents. So there are two agent recipes. There's an image search agent for database search, and there's an image search agent for vector search, and those in their turn are using another recipe. So one for image search for DB and one for image search for vector, and both of those in the end are then using the AI image classification recipe that takes care of classifying actual content. So it's a three-level structure where the agent is the well, it's the end goal, so to speak, but you can, of course, if you want, you can just do the image classification recipe, and that helps with making the media search, the internal media search, a lot better. It also adds a taxonomy, so you can categorize the actual media. On top of that, then, is two different search recipes, and what those does is that they take the classification, the extra fields that the classification adds. So it adds a description of the image, it adds a taxonomy, and it indexes this in a search API index. And the difference is then that this is using the normal database search, and this is using a vector search. And then in the end, we have an agent wrapped around this. So an agent that can use a tool that searches in either the database search or searches in the vector search, and they have a little bit different system prompts. So mainly the difference between a normal traditional search and then vector search or semantic search is that in traditional search you have to find the search words, and you have to use those search words and try to have the agent read it and kind of find a meaning in it. While semantic search, you don't actually need to hit on the actual search word, you just have to hit on the meaning or something similar to what you're looking for. So they work a little bit different, but what is important to know is that if you're using the database search one, the only thing you need prepared on your website is that you have set up an AI provider that can do chat with tools, and you have set this up as the default chat with tools model. That is the only requirement. So we actually have in our recipes a check. It will check this before it actually starts applying and tell you something, something is wrong. You haven't added this, so you need to add this. But this also means that it's very flexible, because you can choose your own model. You can choose your own provider. If you want to use Olama locally for this, no problems. If you want to use OpenAI Anthropic, no problems as well. If you want to, use something more enterprisey like AWS or Azure, that's no problem as well. You can choose. It gets a little bit more complex with the vector search, because you need a vector search engine, and you need also an embeddings provider. And please know, for instance, that Anthropic, while it's a very good chat provider, it doesn't actually provide embeddings. This means that you need another provider for this. If you're using OpenAI, it can take care of both embeddings and the chat provider. But then you also need a vector database. So you need something like Milvus or PostgreSQL with pgvector, Pinecone. We have a lot of choices you can find there as well. So you just need to install one of this, and it's the same thing there. We have a setting under everything around default operation types. We also have a setting for our default vector database and a default embeddings provider. So you need to set those up before you can actually run this specific recipe. So let's get started. Okay, so I just installed Drupal CMS and the AI assistant, but of course you can run with Core and any provider that has chat with tools basically. But this makes sure that, well, I have to reload here. So if I go to, let's see here, where are we? AI infrastructure and default models for AI operations, you will be able to see then that this sets up a chat with tools function calling by default. So most popular providers actually will set this up when you set them up, give API key and so on. But of course, as I said, you can use whatever provider you want in this case. You don't have to use Drupal CMS. This is just to give an example, because what I want to do is have this assistant here. So no, let's show here. So here's all the agents I have, right? So what I want to do is here run the assistant and ask it something like what content types do I have, and this will then go ahead and call the content type agent and give me an answer. There's utility page, right? So what we want to do now is to install the recipe, and that is just done via, well, first you have to run the composer command to get it, and then you just run drush recipes to run it, and that's basically it. After that you can start searching for images depending on what you basically want to do. So well, I will show here what's gonna happen, what we're gonna do while this is running. Oh, one thing I can say as well, because we're using Drupal CMS, is 15 steps, because this is using Drupal CMS media recipe on top of the 3 recipes that's running, which means that it's less steps than if you do it on Core. We're gonna go ahead and add a media here. We're just gonna upload an image. Let's do so. And I'm gonna take a picture of something, I don't know. Let's just take a picture of a family here, and I'm just gonna write something else just to make sure that, so you can see we're not getting this from the alt text then. And now you're gonna see it takes a little bit longer to save than normally. So what's happening here is that it's gonna be looking at the image, it's gonna describe it, it's gonna categorize it, so we get this right, and it's gonna also index it. So we have these 2 new fields. They came from the recipe, they have been filled out. If you happen to have medias, you can just resave the medias and it's gonna fill out. So if we go to search API, we just show that, yeah, we have a new index here. It has filled out one thing. So now we want to go ahead and try this out. We're just gonna go to extend. I'm just gonna install two different modules here. So you shouldn't really be using Agents Explorer if you do something complex. There is AI Agents Debugger contrib module that you should be using. It just gives so much more information. In this case, this is a really stupid agent. So while this is loading, if we just reload here, you're gonna see that all of a sudden image search agent exists. We can just click edit on this so you can see what the agent actually is that we have installed. So there's just a system prompt. It looks a little bit different between the database agent and the vector-based agent, but they have the same tools. And so it has a tool basically that forces that you use this index that we're using, yeah, I'm gonna show how the tool works. So it forces some values when using this tool to make sure you can't prompt injected to look into other search indexes. You will also see when you read the description, this is very much a helper agent. It's supposed to be used by assistants or other parent agents. So that's why it has a description where it tells the parent agent, you have to tell me how I should query and what you want back, right? So now when we have installed this, we can just go to AI search and discovery. There's AI API Explorer. There's a lot of different Explorer for everything that your providers can do, and there's Tool Explorer. So these are the tools that agents uses. MCP could be using, ECA could be using, and there we have then the search index. We just search for it. We say we want to search this index and search for family in this case. You see there's a lot of other settings here. The important one, it's so that the agent can basically, you know, look for hundreds of images, paginate, and so on. There is check access. If you know that your media library is completely public, you can tell the agent to not check access. This makes it more performant, so it doesn't have to do access check on everything. But we're just gonna run this tool, and you're gonna see it finds something, right? Now, a family is a happy moment, right? If I search for that, most likely, yeah, I don't find anything. So this is the main difference between a vector search, vector semantic search and normal search, right? Where it's just searching for the actual words. So that's how the tool works. So now we can actually go back here and try the agent. So we're gonna click on Explore. This shows up because I installed the Explorer, and then we can prompt it. Can you find images of a family? Let's try a family of 3. It might suggest this image anyway and tell it it's a little bit wrong. Let's see here. So it's using the tool to search for family of 3, and then it's searching for family of 3, family 3, parents and child. Gives back a response. I search sites, but not that actually depict a family of 3. They only match return a family portrait of 5. So it actually didn't give it back because I was very specific. Let's do instead, can you find images of a family then? Then it will search for family and give back a response right away that it found this image. This is the data we tell it to give back by default, but it can also give back other information. So what we're gonna do now as the last step to get it working with the Drupal CMS agent, it's supposed to be working with the Canvas agent. That's why we built it, so it can have the Canvas agent find images for the pages you're building. And it's gonna be a recipe that also attaches to the Canvas agent in the future, so you don't have to do anything. But I'm just gonna showcase in this case how you can connect it then to the Drupal CMS agent. So if you go to automation, Drupal assistant configurations, and the Drupal CMS assistant, we're just editing this, and we're just saying it can use the image search agent as well. And in the instructions, we're just adding image search. If someone asks for finding images, use the image search agent and return and ask it for the URL and the edit link of the media and return this. So very simple, right? So now we can actually use this for this, and we can search here then. Can you find me images of families? And hopefully now it's gonna contact the image search agent. The image search agent is gonna go out and search and give back a response that hopefully has 2 links then, one to the image and one to the edit page. Yeah, so it says here is the photo. Well, we can tell it to make this maybe a little bit nicer, but it works, right? It goes to the edit page, and you all of a sudden now you have something that can actually go ahead and search all the images for you. Yeah, that's it. Try the recipe out. It's currently in dev. It's gonna be in stable any day now. It's being reviewed. Thank you.